From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10. Live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Ayotunde Balogun.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, House of Representatives holds public hearing on constitutional alteration as Speaker assures Nigerians that the 10th Assembly will succeed in amending the Constitution after past failed attempts. Vice President Kashim Shettima to deliver Nigeria's statement and engage in key debates at the UN's 80th General Assembly. River State Governor Siminalayi Fubara visits President Bola Tinubu, says peace has fully returned to the state. And France joins the UK, Canada and Australia in officially recognizing a Palestinian state, boosting global support for Palestine.
And on business, Nigeria's GDP growth hits four-year high at 4.23% in the second quarter of 2025 on all sectors surge.
On sports news tonight, PSG's champions, the league winner Ousmane Dembele wins the 2025 Men's Ballon d'Or.
And from the nation's capital, Minister of the FCT flags off construction of access roads in Mabushi districts, says education, health and transportation will be prioritized.
We begin with the National Assembly, where the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, says the House of Representatives will ensure the amendment to the 1999 Constitution is successful in this 10th Assembly after failed attempts from previous assemblies. While speaking at the National Public Hearing on the alteration to the Constitution, Right Honorable Tajuddin commended Nigerians for coming out in their numbers to ensure their voice is heard, explaining that the process impacts on all sectors of the society.
On the review of the
It's a large turnout of various interest groups, from civil society organizations to youth and women groups, traditional rulers, labor unions, political parties and legislators, as the House of Representatives seeks to amend the 1999 Constitution. The Speaker of the House, Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, assures stakeholders that the House is prepared to ensure that the amendment process succeeds.
As Speaker, I pledge that we will take your contribution seriously and consider the bills with diligence, fairness, and urgency. We will engage the state assemblies respectfully and transparently to secure their concurrence. We will continue to work with the executive and with you, the people, to ensure that the amendment process proceeds smoothly.
The Deputy Speaker, who doubles as the chairman of the House Committee on Constitution Amendment, Mr. Benjamin Kalu, pledges to make the process all-inclusive.
This is the solemn mandate of the House of Representatives Committee on Constitution Review. Since our inauguration, we have embarked on the most comprehensive, most consultative review process in Nigeria's democratic history. We have held retreats with legal scholars and technical consultants. We have convened dialogues with the judiciary, security agencies, and national women groups. We have engaged with our vibrant civil society and held zonal public hearings all through the 6 geopolitical zones of our great nation.
In their goodwill messages, the stakeholders assured the House of their continued support for the process.
This engagement is particularly important as it resonates strongly with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, which seeks to enthrone good governance, inclusivity, and sustainable development. The process you are undertaking today is therefore not only about amending legal provisions, It is about giving Nigerians renewed confidence that their voices matter in shaping the future of our democracy.
As your long-standing partner and friend, the UK remains committed to supporting democratic institutions and processes that build a Nigerian nation and state that's more peaceful, prosperous, and responsive to the needs of its citizens.
We are also supporting electoral reforms. We have currently our electoral follow-up mission in town, following up on our EU observation mission during the 2023 elections, and exchanging with authorities, responding to the invitation of INEC. We are also supporting your works on judicial reforms, on local government autonomy, on institutional strengthening, and on fundamental rights.
But it's not just the special seats bill that's an issue. There are several other issues, and most of these amendments seek to secure grassroots governance, ensure timely and fair elections, expand rights and representation, strengthen accountability, and stabilize Nigeria's democratic order.
The committee is expected to put together their presentations and present them before the House for consideration and passage.
More than 750 women from all 36 states under FCT took to the streets of the nation's capital in a peace walk, pressing lawmakers to pass the special seats reserved for women bill. The proposal seeks to create additional positions for women only in Parliament to boost female representation. Our correspondent Benny Ark reports.
Hundreds of women filled the streets for Abuja Monday, demanding the passage of a special seat bill legislation that will create women-only positions in the Senate and House of Representatives. And a truck blasting Afrobeats music as they made their way through the nation's capital. The bill seeks to amend the Constitution, giving each state and the FCT a woman-only seat in both chambers of the National Assembly, a move advocates say will tackle Nigeria's low female representation.
We are all here with signatures that we have galvanized from the 36 states, over 1 million signatures, to be presented at today's public hearing as their endorsements of citizens of this nation for the special seats reserved for women bill at the National Assembly.
What the women are saying is that, well, since you have had so many years, 64 years of being ahead, then let's have affirmative action. Let's have equity. Let us have the special seats bill so that women can be a part of decision making for the nation, and so that our children will also see themselves represented in decision making positions, so that we can make decisions together with our men folk for the movement, for the acceleration of development of Nigeria.
Speakers urged that beyond parliamentary reforms, women at the grassroots must be mobilized and empowered to understand their rights and take part in politics.
Everything we do, it transcends from the national down to the grassroots. So even today, what we are doing here now, they can hear everything about what is happening here today, all the women at the grassroots. And so with that, we mobilize them for rallies, we mobilize them to do town hall meetings, so that with that, they will understand what the special seat bill is all about.
Before now, we had a zonal public hearing. Now we have the national public hearing. Now and then we'll be going to, after the passage of this law, if they pass it, we are still going to the state. All the states, at least 24 states will have to pass before the constitutional amendment is done. And so the work is in community. You see people here, they're from all the 36 states of the country, plus FCT.
The walk ended with a submission of signatures to the House of Representatives Committee on Constitutional Review, with women leaders vowing to sustain pressure until the bill becomes law. Benny Ark, Channels Television News.
We now head to the United States, where Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tugar, has welcomed Vice President Kashim Shettima to New York. as he arrived to represent President Bola Tinubu at the United Nations General Assembly, which commenced today with the arrival of world leaders and dignitaries. According to the minister, the vice president will deliver Nigeria's national statement, participate in high-level general debates, and engage in a series of strategic side events aimed at advancing the country's interests on the global stage. The Foreign Affairs Minister, alongside other top government officials, briefed the Vice President on Nigeria's priorities for this year's assembly and the outcomes expected from its participation. Speaking after the briefing, Ambassador Tuga, together with the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Jumoke Uduwole, highlighted key objectives including strengthening partnerships, attracting investments, and positioning Nigeria as a leading voice on critical global issues.
Nigeria has a UN Global Convention on Taxation that it is championing. It's something that is very central to the ongoing push to reform the global financial architecture. And it's something that has put Nigeria in a position of leadership. And you can see that the briefing was with for His Excellency the Vice President. There were ministers present, senior government officials. And the whole idea of having this briefing is so that we will all be on the same page. So going out, engaging, we have to make sure that we promote this. We also promote Nigeria's push to become a member of the United Nations Security Council, permanent member.
And all is to push forward the Renewed Hope agenda, is to push forward the areas that we're focusing on for investment, is to push forward the reforms that the Nigerian economy has experienced in the last 2 years, and to make sure that all the friends of Nigeria in New York for this event are well versed in the position of where we are right now.
In the meantime, the UN Deputy Secretary General Amina Mohammed says many countries today will not have issues that are seen and visible at the United Nations if the body did not exist in today's world. She was speaking on the significance of the world body marking its 80th anniversary in New York. And this was in an exclusive interview with the host of Channels Television's Inside Sources, Laolu Akonde.
If we're not here tomorrow, what would happen? Many countries would not have issues that are seen, are visible at the United Nations, would not be visible anymore.
True.
And that would say you put them in the dark, you leave them behind.
Yeah.
And when that happens, terrible things go on. The war in Sudan may not be given the same visibility. What is happening in Myanmar would not be given the same visibility. We would not convene to try to get a solution.
Right.
It's not that the solution can be gotten immediately. These things are very complex. By the time you see what you're seeing in Ukraine, in Gaza, in Sudan, you have to trace back what really has caused these conflicts to be. And for that, you need to, first of all, get a ceasefire, but in the course of getting ceasefire, negotiate our way back to peace. That's very difficult.
It's very difficult, and that's...
So I think that, but this is a place. We convene for solutions that are huge challenges individually, sometimes collectively, that can only be resolved by a number of parties. It's international collaboration.
Right.
That's what we do. I see it as a global town hall for our village. We have come far in 80 years, and to say that we want to go back doesn't make sense for all those who are still aspiring to have a world that is more equal, more peaceful, and fairer in the share of prosperity.
In part two, after the break, reinstated Governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, visits President Bola Tinubu at the State House. Plus, we'll have more from the United Nations General Assembly in New York. Please stay with us. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the News at 10 live on Channels Television Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. House of Representatives holds public hearing on constitutional alteration as Speaker assures that the 10th Assembly will succeed in amending the Constitution after past failed attempts. Vice President Kashim Shettima to deliver Nigeria's statement and engage in key debate at the UN's 80th General Assembly. River State Governor Simonalayi Fubara visits President Bola Tinubu, says peace has fully returned to the state. And France joins the UK, Canada and Australia in officially recognizing a Palestinian state, boosting global support for Palestine. Now, the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly commenced with the meeting to commemorate the 80th anniversary of the United Nations. Now, the Vice President joined other world leaders at the event, which took place at the United Nations headquarters in New York, the United States. Our SEDAS correspondent, Larry Lasisi, who is in New York for the annual gathering, gives an update on the day's activities.
Today is the first official day of the United Nations General Assembly, the 80th edition, very like an anniversary. And the day started with the Vice President attending what was like the opening ceremony to commemorate the day. And from then he's moved on, had several meetings, bilateral meetings. He's been at one program, from one program to the other. But to give us like an understanding of the objectives so far, to tell us what the Nigerian delegation will be doing here, I have with me the Chief Executive Officer of NIDCOM, Nigerian Diaspora Commission. Good afternoon here.
Good afternoon.
Yes, please, would like you to please tell us what should Nigerians be expecting from the delegation that is here in New York for the 80th hunger?
Well, as you can see here in Nigeria House, the delegation have been meeting the global community, telling them about the good things about Nigeria. And you could see from interactions that the Nigerian narrative is changing. We are telling our stories. Every agency here, ministry, has a lot of things to say about the renewed hope agenda in the last 2 years of Mr. President. And they want to know, they want to come to Nigeria, they want to visit. And guess what? They want Nigerian passports. That's what we're getting here. So the Nigerian delegation is showing the best of Nigeria. And look at even Nigerians here, talking to the global community of the things about Nigeria. Conversation breeds comprehension. The more we have this conversation, they get to know that you cannot rely on what you read in the media or on television. So we say, come to Nigeria and see. And look at somebody who said, I came to Nigeria and I couldn't believe that this is Nigeria, and he doesn't want to return. He wants to come back again in the next month. So really, the delegation have been up and doing. There hasn't been a resting moment for anybody. Marketing Nigeria, President's renewed hope agenda, and the response has been very, very positive. And like I said, we're all proudly Nigerian, and it's been a lot of work for the delegation and a lot of interactions with global community, marketing Nigeria and promoting the best of our country.
Thank you very much. So you have it there, what the delegation is doing. And just as I said at the beginning, this is the first day of what is to be a very intense and packed week. Today, we still have activities happening. There are meetings being held by different groups. We have agencies, federal agencies here. We have state governors here also holding programs. And I know that for the Vice President who is leading the delegation, the General Assembly, the UN General Assembly, where the heads of government will start to make their positions, put forward their country's positions, will begin tomorrow. The Vice President is not speaking tomorrow. He will be speaking on Wednesday from what we have so far, except that changes. But after that, there are a lot of bilateral meetings that are planned. From then to other activities, we'll keep monitoring, and as we monitor, we'll get back. But now from the Nigeria House here in New York, Larry Lasisi, Channels Television News.
Back home, Governor Siminalayi Fubara says peace is fully back to Rivers State. He reaffirmed this in an interview with State House correspondents shortly after visiting President Bola Tinubu at the presidential villa in Abuja. Governor Fubara, who was reinstated by the president 5 days ago after completing a 6-month suspension from office, says the crisis that rocked Rivers State has been settled. He also said that he's now in a good relationship with the Minister of the FCT, Mr. Nyesom Wike. When asked if the peace deal reached was real or not, Governor Fubara said all parties are working together, even as he commended President Bola Tinubu's role in ensuring that Rivers State enjoys peace and development.
You are aware that the suspension was lifted on the 17th, midnight 17th, and I came in on the 19th. Ideally, it's proper for me to see Mr. President to tell him that I'm back, and I've also resumed my responsibility as the governor of Rivers State. There's not much, it's father-son discussion, telling him thank you, and the areas where, if at all, there should be any issue, for him to guide me properly so we don't be in any situation that will bring crisis again. He advised me on what to do and how to go in the right. So long as I'm concerned, we have made peace. My Fubara and his principal are working together. Thank you.
All around the world, the teaching profession is the foundation of any society that shapes the future by nurturing and educating young people. In recognition of the critical and invaluable role that teachers play in advancing quality education, 1 million teachers in partnership with other stakeholders held an event, the Let There Be Teachers Conference, designed to elevate the voices of teachers, promote their professional growth, and emphasize their indispensable contributions to society.
Stakeholders within the education sector from Lagos State and beyond stormed the Tafawa Balewa Square, Lagos, to make their voices heard and stress the invaluable role teachers play in shaping nations.
These are my A-star teachers.
It is the Let There Be Teachers Conference with the theme Repositioning the Teaching Profession for National Development, empowered by 1 million teachers, which brought together key players in the education sector.
From the dusty footpath of rural Zamfara to the classrooms of Lagos, let this be our trumpet call. Let there be teachers.
Special guests take turn to hand down their goodwill messages.
The theme of this conference, repositioning the teaching profession for national development, is apt and instrumental at this time in Nigeria, when the need for change of narrative in teachers' affairs is of utmost importance.
Teachers are the pioneers. They are the foundation. You may have a good structure. Can a good structure deliver quality education? No. The teachers must be there.
This conference is one that has given the hard-working Nigerian teachers opportunity to come together in a special way.
Functional community of practice platforms are a testament to this commitment, serving as vital spaces for teachers to connect, share best practices, and collaborate with their peers.
Despite their critical role in enhancing human capital development, teachers face many challenges, from inadequate remuneration and lack of professional development opportunities to societal underappreciation.
Channels Television is proud to be associated with this landmark conference. We salute the vision behind it, and we stand with every teacher represented here today and across the globe. We remain committed to amplifying their voices, telling their stories, and highlighting their roles in shaping a brighter future for all.
The conference is also used to attempt a Guinness World Record of having the largest teachers' gathering in Nigeria's history. Organizers of the Let There Be Teachers Conference are optimistic, but the event will bring attention to the challenges teachers face, foster collaboration across states, and enhance teacher training programs aimed at improving educational outcomes for millions of Nigerian children.
All right, now let's head to the nation's capital, where Terry Ikumi is standing by to give us the very latest from our Abuja studios. Over to you, Terry.
Well, thank you very much, Ayo, and it's nice to see you. The Minister of the FCT, Mr. Nyesom Wike, has disclosed that he encountered a lot of problems when he assumed office as minister. However, he is assuring residents of the nation's capital that his administration will focus on education, health, and the transportation sector. Speaking during the flag-off of the construction of access roads in Mabushi district in Abuja, the minister says the nation's capital will be a world-class city under the administration of President Bola Tinubu.
Attention turns to the Mabushi district of the Federal Capital Territory with the flag-off of access roads along the Timipre Silver Street. The FCT minister is joined by political associates and members of the National Assembly, among other dignitaries for the ceremony. This project is described as an upgrade of the city, in sync with the Abuja Master Plan.
The project is essentially to provide the access and free circulation to this recently completed bus taxi terminal, which was commissioned in June this year, all in the efforts to provide safe and effective transportation system within the city.
The construction of this access road is of immense importance to Mabushi district and the greater FCT area. Upon completion, these roads will significantly ease transportation, enhance connectivity, and stimulate economic activities by providing residents and businesses with improved access to vital locations.
In his remarks, the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, references previous administrations as he commits to meet the needs of other sectors needed in the nation's capital.
Let me assure you, we are not only concentrating on roads, we're also concentrating on education, we're also concentrating on transportation, we're also concentrating on how we are going to make the youth to be very, very engaged. We also have to concentrate on health. And like I said, people should realize that we had a lot of problems when we came in. But because of our determination, we believe that no sector will be left untouched.
He adds that the project is part of efforts to make Abuja a world-class city.
For the tenure of Mr. President expires, Abuja will be a different thing. In terms of infrastructure, Abuja will compete with other known cities of the world.
He then flags off the project.
By moving the equipment to the glory of...
According to the minister, the FCTA is committed to all-round development of the nation's capital, with plans to flag off more projects in the coming days.
Well, still ahead on the news at 10, Nigeria's GDP growth hits 4-year high at 4.23% in second quarter of 2025 on oil sector surge. That's in business news. Do stay with us. Welcome back to News at 10. Now, one of Nigeria's largest airlines, Air Peace Limited, has expanded its travel routes and will now fly from Abuja to London Heathrow Airport. The latest route will commence operations from October 26, 2025. Chairman of Air Peace Limited, Mr. Alan Onyema, who was speaking at a meeting with travel agents in Abuja, explains that travelers originating from any of the company's domestic destinations across Nigeria can now book their fares via Abuja to either Heathrow or Gatwick using a single ticket, eliminating the need for multiple bookings or baggage rechecks.
This meeting is convened by the management of Air Peace, one of Nigeria's largest airlines, to intimate travel agents on some latest developments from the company. Indeed, it's a time to reconnect and discuss the way forward for the airline as they continue to expand their operation while contributing to job creation and the nation's socio-economic development.
Our going to London will ease the burden of our people in the northern part of the country. I've discovered really that most of us from the northern part of the country and Abuja don't really like transiting through Lagos.
With the latest announcement, Air Peace becomes the first Nigerian carrier to offer direct services from Abuja to London's major international airports.
In African aviation,
the company believes that flying the Abuja Heathrow route provides a distinct and competitive advantage, enabling passengers to travel between Nigeria and the United Kingdom with greater ease, efficiency, and value due to the possibility of choosing multiple cities' entries and exit points.
Air Peace remains the cheapest on the London route. Air Peace remains the cheapest. And because we are very cheap, we forced other carriers to come down.
Some of the offers for the new route include round trips starting from 1 million naira, huge baggage allowance, amongst others. Outside the hall, the stakeholders share their excitement about the latest development.
I'm so happy that this is happening to cater for the Abuja and the north. And the entire north actually, going to London from Abuja rather than going to Lagos and go. So the travel time is reduced.
We see more of African airlines making more money, contributing to the African and Nigerian GDP. Right, is a great one. Number two, increasing the route to UK normally increase number of employees, right? Increase the number of, you can even increase the distance of travel agencies as well.
The company considers the latest development as a major stride in the nation's aviation industry. Air travelers are enjoined to book a ticket at www.flyairpeace.com or go through any accredited travel agent to secure a seat on the route. Sarah Chimogu, Channels Television News.
Well, that's it from the nation's capital. Back to Ayo in Lagos for more on the news at 10.
Thanks so much, Terry. The 2025 Cancer Champions Conference marked a significant milestone as global skincare brand Nivea, in collaboration with the Broyken Foundation, hosted the Project Rise Fund handover ceremony. Held in Lagos, the event focuses on providing vital support to families affected by cancer, celebrating the message of genuine hope, resilience, and care that goes far beyond the skin.
In a meaningful display of love, compassion, and care, global skincare brand Nivea partners with the Broyken Foundation to support cancer patients and survivors in Nigeria. The handover ceremony, themed Together We Rise, honors families impacted by cancer, spotlighting the emotional and physical need to rehabilitate, integrate, support, and empower them back into the society.
The reason why we actually decided to do this as a company is because it actually ties in with our social mission as a company, globally and also here in Nigeria. So we know that Beiersdorf is the powerhouse behind product that we all know, Nivea, and also Eucerin, which is our go-to product, a care for our skin. And we want to take the care beyond skin. So not just caring for your skin, for our skin, but care for also our community.
When we were approached by Nivea, we were quite excited because in this kind of partnerships, it's about finding the right partner. If you like, finding the right wife. For us, it's not just about paying medical bills. It has to be more than that. It's about how do you get them back into society. Cancer, as you know, is extremely financially toxic. Most people after a cancer diagnosis have nothing left. They're broke. We just thought it was really amazing because it now empowers them to come back into the community and not have to beg.
3, 2, 1, 0. 46 million.
In a heartfelt moment, the grand unveiling of the total funds raised takes center stage. Beiersdorf officials highlight the vital role retailers and consumers across the country played in driving the success of the initiative.
The way it went is that for every sale, for every bottle that we sold, we donated 300 naira to the foundation. So a shopper walks into the store, buys any Nivea range of product, including Eucerin. The proceeds we offer 300 naira to this foundation. So the 46 million that we donated today is an accumulation of 300 naira across, so you can imagine the number of bottles that we had to sell.
So I also want to thank the consumers that took part in this. Many consumers who would ordinarily buy one bottle, they bought 2, 3 because they knew it was going towards a good cause. So very simple mechanic, but look at how much we've raised today.
I mean, this year was a very great partnership, and next year we're looking forward to scaling it up and seeing how we can achieve more, and even calling on other foundations to see where we can step in and where we can support.
As Nivea and the Briken Foundation continue to foster impactful collaborations to bridge critical healthcare gaps, events like these prove that small acts of kindness, when multiplied, can transform lives.
So let's find out what's happening in the world of business with Will Ebon.
Thank you, Ayotunde. Now, Nigeria's economy has expanded by 4.23% in the second quarter of 2025, hitting a 4-year high and outperforming the 3.48% growth recorded in the same period of 2024. Now, data by the National Bureau of Statistics shows a surge in oil production, driving much of the growth momentum, and this production boost translates into real GDP growth of 20.46% for the sector. However, the oil sector contributed 4.05% to total GDP. Also, GDP growth was largely supported by the non-oil sector, with key contributions from agriculture, trade, ICT and telecommunications, real estate, financial institutions, construction and energy supply. Still staying in the oil space, billionaire businessman Femi Otedola has hailed the Dangote refinery as a historic leap for Nigeria's energy independence and economic future, while commending President Bola Tinubu for having the political will to fully deregulate the downstream petroleum sector. Now, in a strongly worded statement, Mr. Otedola said, quote, "Deregulation has broken the grip of entrenched interest and ushered in an era of transparency, competition and accountability." He warned that some operators, particularly depot owners under DAPMAN, are clinging to an outdated fuel import model that is fast becoming irrelevant in the face of local refining capacity. The game has changed, Mr. Otedola declares, adding that with over 4 million metric tons of storage capacity lying idle and Dangote's 8,000 eco-friendly trucks transforming fuel distribution, depot owners must adapt, restructure, or risk bankruptcy. According to him, Aliko Dangote's refinery is not the problem, but the solution to decades of inefficiencies, subsidy fraud, and rent-seeking in Nigeria's downstream oil sector. Now, with that, we head to the domestic equities market, which kicked off the penultimate trading week in the month of September on a negative note. Ladi Williams has the details.
Well, from a positive outing last week at local bourse, the Bears kick off this trading week, shaving off 220 billion naira to the market capitalization, closing at 0.24%. 141,000 still holds for the all-share index. Let's look at the sectoral performance now. Banking counter, that was hit hard last week, and we still see sell pressure there, 0.25%. There was some of the tier 1 banks and tier 2 banks down today. Consumer goods are down 0.77%. That had a good outing last week. Oil and gas, 0.5% down. And that's how the market opened this trading week, but not building on weekly gains as investors continue to position around earnings, macro policy signals, and sectoral opportunities. Well, tomorrow, we'll see if we get a hold or a cut. That's for the MPC decision day.
Thank you, Ladi. It's definitely D-Day tomorrow for the CBN MPC meeting. We'll wait to see what the decision will be. But let's look at the snapshots of closing figures from major global markets now. And that's business. It's back to Ayotune for the rest of the news at 10.
Many thanks, Will. Let's now head to our London studio with Simon Pusey and Around the World in 5.
Good evening and welcome to the Channel studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. France has joined the UK, Canada and Australia in recognising a Palestinian state. Here, the Palestinian flag flying atop a town hall north of Paris. Along with other European countries, it made the announcement when world leaders gathered ahead of the UN General Assembly in New York. Meanwhile, a flag-raising ceremony took place in London, marking a new embassy in the UK at the site of the Palestinian mission. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said recognition gives a huge reward to terrorism. He also says a Palestinian state will not happen.
The embassy of the State of Palestine.
Earlier, the UK Foreign Secretary Yvette Cooper said she warned Israel not to annex parts of the West Bank in retaliation for its recognition of Palestinian statehood.
We are acting to keep alive the possibility of peace and a two-state solution. That means a safe and secure Israel alongside a viable Palestinian state. Let's be frank. Hamas is a brutal terror organization. Our call for a genuine two-state solution is the exact opposite of their hateful vision.
Meanwhile, in Gaza, the Hamas-run health ministry says Israeli attacks have killed 61 people in the last day, bringing the death toll in the territory to 65,344. The Israeli military launched a campaign in Gaza in response to Hamas's attack on southern Israel in October 2023, in which around 1,200 people were killed and 251 others were taken hostage.
Things were gone at work for all my life.
US President Donald Trump has hailed the conservative activist Charlie Kirk as a great American hero and a martyr during a speech to tens of thousands of mourners at a memorial service in Arizona.
Because today, America is a nation in grief, a nation in shock, and a nation in mourning. Less than 2 weeks ago, our country was robbed of one of the brightest lights of our times, a giant of his generation, and above all, a devoted husband, father, son, Christian and patriot.
Mr. Trump was the headline speaker at the event on Sunday, which saw top officials from his administration, including Vice President J.D. Vance, praise Kirk's political legacy after he was shot dead on the 10th of September. Kirk's wife, Erica, delivered a tearful speech at the State Farm Stadium near Phoenix, in which she said she had forgiven her husband's alleged killer.
I saw the wound that ended his life. I felt everything you would expect to feel. I felt shock. I felt horror and a level of heartache that I didn't even know existed.
Thousands of people have been evacuated in the Philippines as a super typhoon, described by regional authorities as potentially catastrophic, makes landfall in the country's northern region. Super typhoon Ragasa, packing 230-kilometer-an-hour winds, made landfall over Panuitan Island in the Philippines' northern Cagayan province at 3 p.m. local time on Monday. It is expected to barrel west towards southern China. Authorities have warned of widespread flooding and landslides and damage to homes and infrastructure. Tens of thousands of Brazilians have joined protests in cities across the country to protest against a bill which could result in ex-President Jair Bolsonaro being granted amnesty. Mr. Bolsonaro was found guilty of plotting a coup earlier this month and has been sentenced to 27 years in prison. He will remain under house arrest until his lawyers have exhausted all appeals. But the ex-leader's allies in the Chamber of Deputies have fast-tracked a bill which could see Bolsonaro and his co-defendants spared jail. And Egypt's president has pardoned the prominent British-Egyptian activist Alaa Abdel Fattah, who has been imprisoned for 6 years. Abdel Fattah is one of 6 people whose sentences President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi commuted following a request from the National Council for Human Rights. His lawyer confirmed the news and wrote on X, "Praise be to God." And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel studios in Lagos.
Thank you, Simon. Welcome to Sports News. Nigeria's under-20 boys Flying Eagles will take on their Australian counterparts in their second friendly game on Tuesday as they intensify preparations for the FIFA Under-20 World Cup starting this weekend. The match, which will be played in the city of Santiago at 1 p.m. Nigeria time. And the lads were forced to a 1-1 draw by the host nation Chile on Saturday, with Ahmed Akinyele scoring for Nigeria in the 18th minute, before a 36-minute equalizer by Felipe Fondes. And France forward Ousmane Dembele has won the men's Ballon d'Or at a ceremony held in Paris this evening, the most prestigious individual award in football, rewarding his starring role in the Paris Saint-Germain side that won the Champions League last season. The 28-year-old Dembele pipped Barcelona and Spain teenage sensation Lamine Yamal to the prize and succeeds Manchester City and Spain midfielder Rodri, who won the trophy in 2024. He was the joint top scorer in Ligue 1 with 21 goals and named the French top flight and Champions League Player of the Year. And he also helped PSG to the Club World Cup final, where they lost to Chelsea in New Jersey. Meanwhile, Barcelona and Spain star Altana Bonmati wins the Women's Ballon d'Or, the third consecutive year she has taken the prize. Bonmati edged out Mariona Caldente, a teammate in the Spain side, beaten on penalties by England in the Women's Euro 2025 final in July. The 27-year-old midfielder also lost the Women's Champions League final with a club last season at the hands of Caldente's Arsenal. Bonmati was named player of the tournament at the Euros despite not starting either of Spain's first 2 matches as she recovered from a bout of viral meningitis. And Jamaica's Shirley Ann Fraser-Price has bowed out as arguably the greatest woman sprinter of all time on Sunday as she won silver in the women's 4x100 at the just concluded World Championships in Tokyo. The 38-year-old Jamaican is proud to leave with her head held high after a silver in the women's 4x100 meters relay, bringing down the curtain on a career at the top, spanning almost 2 decades, the last of a generation of extraordinary Jamaican men and women sprinters. That sports is back to you, Ayo.
Many thanks, Chris. And the main news again. The House of Representatives today held a public hearing on constitution alteration as Speaker Abbas Tajuddin assured Nigerians that the 10th Assembly will succeed in amending the Constitution after past failed attempts. That's the news at 10 tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ayo Tunde Balogun, and do have a good night.